It doesn't take a genius to determine where exactly conversations have gone in the NHL over the past few days. Everybody is talking about the big, the bad, the ugly offer sheet that was handed out to Leo Carlsson at the hands of the Philadelphia Flyers. It has been one of the main conversation points over the past few days, and in this video, we're talking about the Montreal Canadiens and whether or not they can execute an offer sheet as well. You see, here's the thing about that. An offer sheet from the Montreal Canadiens may not actually be a good idea. And there is some semblance of truth that says that this entire process is probably not recommended for Kent Hughes and the Habs. Let's explain. So, there was this post made on the rHabs subreddit by Flaky Page 1210, who went out there and asked about the idea of Montreal making an offer sheet. This is, of course, speculation, but if you're Kent Hughes and you decide to send an offer sheet for one player, who would you target? And also, what would you offer? For me, I think the perfect player would be Adam Fantilli. He has the size and the skill to not only elevate the top six, but he would be the perfect complement to Demidov for years to come. Considering what he may ask, I would not be opposed to giving up first-round picks. If you don't think there's anyone who's worthy of being given an offer sheet, is there any underrated player that can be targeted by the Habs? I know some people mention Tippett, but does anyone else come to mind? And this is a very fair question. We are seeing the fallout of the Leo Carlsson offer sheet in Philadelphia, and we are saying, hey, the Flyers, if it works, they're getting a really, really great player. They're getting a point-per-game guy who was able to continue being a point-per-game into the playoffs, a big 6'3", 207-pound, 21-year-old who is going to be essentially this generation's version of a Mats Sundin. Who wouldn't want this kind of a guy on their team? If Montreal were to dip their toes in the offer sheet pool, they could get a player like this too. Maybe not exactly Leo Carlsson, but somebody who projects to have similar offensive output like an Adam Fantilli. Maybe somebody who already has exhibited that top-tier offensive production like a Connor Bedard. What's the situation here with Montreal, and is it a good idea? Here's the top reply that I thought summed it up perfectly, and we'll read it for you here on this video. I liked this movie said, we don't have the cap space for an offer sheet first and foremost. Secondly, giving Adam Fantilli $15 million is an FU to Ivan Demidov and all of the internal goodwill the Montreal Canadiens have built up. At some point, if Kent Hughes wants to bring good players to the team, he'll have to pay them more than $9 million. He's not going to wait 8 years for that. Demidov, Hudson, Caulfield, they all took less money to win a cup. They won't care if someone makes more money, as long as they win. Not 8 years, but what about 1 to 2? I don't think that's the worst timeline. Another reply says, if that's the case, then I guess we're just never adding anyone to the team. Like, these guys understand what building a team takes. Would they prefer to just not win? No. The Canadiens will keep the extra cap space as a trophy. We have our entire core on long-term, team-friendly deals, but we can't take advantage of it because it would apparently piss them off. That's ingenuous of what he was saying, and you know it. Everyone on the team would like that money spent, just not on $14 million worth of players that aren't going to lead to success. Okay, I don't know about that. Adam Fantilli is really, really good. But I think there is a semblance of truth to this that goes under the radar when thinking about Montreal making an offer sheet, either for Adam Fantilli or a Connor Bedard or whatever. I'd say that proven NHL production is very important, and it's one of the biggest things that pretty much justifies the existence of top dollars going to the player in general. Leo Carlsson was able to produce at a point-per-game clip. He was the #1 center on a super hot team, and he continued producing like crazy into the playoffs. This is a guy that, based off the going rate of young centers and the way he's developing, sure, $18 million is a little much. It's the #1 AAV in the NHL after all. But the way the NHL is trending, it feels a lot more, let's just say, proper to have a center as the number one paid dude rather than a winger like Kirill Kaprizov, who was overpaid because the Wild just said, hey, we really want you to stay. How much money is that going to take? Leo Carlsson making the most amount of money, oddly enough, kind of fixes the way money has been distributed in the NHL, in my opinion at least, especially since he's young and he's going to continue getting better. But if you were to give that same money to a guy like Adam Fantilli, I just don't think that's the right ballpark number for this guy. 59 points in 82 games played on a down Columbus team. Yeah, Fantilli is good. He's going to continue to develop. Everything you can say about Leo Carlsson and his growth, you can apply that same sentiment to Fantilli. He was literally taken a pick after Carlsson in the 2023 draft after all. But the fact that Fantilli has not proven it yet, the fact that he hasn't had that point-per-game season yet, the fact that there is not that track record that exists just yet, makes it very difficult for me to think about, hey, let's offer sheet this guy, let's give him $15 million a year, because that's what he is worth, quote-unquote. Leo Carlsson ain't worth $18 million, but if he grows into that, I don't know if anybody would be surprised. Adam Fantilli, he ain't worth $15 million. If he grows into that sooner, okay, that's fine. But my point here is, he hasn't proven it just yet. Whereas Leo Carlsson, I think he's done enough where it's like, yeah, we are a lot more confident that he hits his top-tier ceiling versus a Fantilli, whom we are still relatively confident in, just maybe not as much. And so for the Montreal Canadiens, when you think about the cap space, and you think about them potentially sending over $15 million a year to a guy like Fantilli, you just signed Ivan Demidov, who had more points than Fantilli, to a $9 million AAV deal. Signing another dude whose production was similar and whose age range is similar too to a $15 million contract would be a big FU to Ivan Demidov. I like this comment from Yabba Dabba Doo. They say there's a difference between giving a proven guy a big dollar amount in free agency, like Jason Robertson, and offer sheeting a guy who had a comparable, maybe worse year than you for 160% what you are making. Essentially saying, hey, Jason Robertson is a very highly talented name. He was able to produce a ton of points, and there's a proven track record there. Adam Fantilli is not there yet, and so the optics of sending over an extra $6 million a year to this dude when Ivan Demidov just got $9 million, I can see where they're coming from here. It makes sense in my mind. I mean, there are a number of replies here going out there and saying like, oh yeah, the Canadiens are going to be so mad that Kent Hughes managed to bring in a young top six center to push the team over the edge of contention, and that guy makes more than them. This user says these players want to win more than anything, and honestly, if you think paying a player $10 million plus via offer sheet would upset them, that's delusional. They left money on the table specifically so Kent has more flexibility in what he can acquire and attract. He's not going to keep the extra cap space as a trophy. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that that's a good enough justification for Adam Fantilli to get offer sheeted at a $15 million AAV amount, but I also do think that there is a certain procedure that needs to be followed here for the Montreal Canadiens. And just thinking about the guys they signed, the guys they brought on, the guys they've acquired and they've grown and developed, it feels odd, in my opinion, to add another one of these similarly aged pieces to a huge dollar amount deal when he hasn't proven the same level of success just yet. That's just me personally. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Is this really the truth behind Montreal potentially offer sheeting a Fantilli or a Bedard or whomever else is available on the market? What are your thoughts on whether or not the Canadiens should do it? Should they get into that 4 first-round draft pick compensation territory to get somebody like a Fantilli onto their team? Sure, it'd be cool to have him in Montreal, but I'm just not sure if $15 million is a comfortable price range for the salary cap structure of the team. Thoughts in the comment section below about this Adam Fantilli, Ivan Demidov comparison, contrasting situation, offer sheet or nay. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.